She's a great player. She's a high IQ player. She adjusted really quickly to this league. Unbelievably quick to this league. And now it's about becoming not just a great player, but becoming a great leader for this team so that we can win not just a championship, but championships. And what does that look like?
Stephanie White is firing back, ready to expose Sheryl Swoopes' latest claims about the Indiana Fever. In her podcast, Swoopes stirred controversy, but White isn't holding back. This showdown promises major revelations and drama ahead.
Personally, here's where I think they didn't do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent, because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season, and I don't think she got the credit that she deserved.
From Kelsey Mitchell's leadership to Caitlin Clark's game-changing presence, Stephanie White is setting the record straight. She's also spilling hilarious and shocking behind-the-scenes details about the Fever's locker room, completely dismantling Sheryl Swoopes' latest claims. Stay tuned.
They're all hungry to grow and hungry to improve and hungry to be coached and hungry to win. And when you have three foundational players and your big three that have that mindset, have that mentality, and great things can happen.
Earlier this year, Sheryl Swoopes sparked confusion on Gil's Arena with her Legends perspective. She mistakenly claimed Caitlin Clark was in her 5th year at Iowa, despite Clark being in her 4th. This was the historic season where Clark shattered NCAA scoring records.
So are you surprised by Caitlin Clark and the Fever's improvement since the Olympic break? 20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5.6 turnovers.
Hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Sheryl Swoopes doubted Caitlin Clark's game would translate to the WNBA, but Clark silenced critics in her rookie season with the Indiana Fever. Averaging 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and a league-leading 8.4 assists, she earned Rookie of the Year and all WNBA first-team honors, proving Swoopes completely wrong.
And she's hungry to grow and hungry to get better. And so, number one, again, that two-way communication. It's been a long time since I've played, so players that are on the floor, they know, right? Like they get a sense, they get a feel of what's working, what's not. My first conversation with her about X's and O's the other day, I was just like, okay, well, how do you want to improve? Like, what are some of the things that you want to improve on? And then we'll talk about how we want to do that. And then I talked to her about how I think we can use her to help her be more efficient, help her be more effective, to help our team be better in general.
Stephanie White, the Fever's head coach, praised Caitlin Clark's seamless transition and transformative impact. Unlike Swoopes, White recognized Clark's ability to elevate teammates, leading the Fever to their first playoff berth since 2016.
I've never seen in the NBA a player that can throw the ball ahead on the break better than her. Or him. Anyone. I had Isaiah, I had Hall of Fame point guard. Never anyone better than her. I also think that, like a lot of my great point guards, Hall of Famers, she could play off the ball so well because she knows how to move without the ball, and it wouldn't tire her out.
As Caitlin Clark's success became undeniable, Sheryl Swoopes shifted her narrative. Abandoning her initial claim that Clark's game wouldn't translate to the WNBA, Swoopes pivoted to critiquing other aspects of Clark's career. However, this wasn't an isolated misstep. It reflected a pattern of bold claims lacking factual support. From her inaccuracies about Clark's college tenure to her WNBA potential, Swoopes consistently missed the mark. But she wasn't done stirring controversy. With Clark thriving, Swoopes turned her sights on a new target: the entire Indiana Fever organization. Her next wave of statements promised to be as bold and divisive as ever.
That players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I
don't want to be here.
Picture a locker room buzzing with laughter, camaraderie, and spontaneous team outings. That's the real Indiana Fever. Despite Sheryl Swoopes' claims of turmoil, suggesting players wanted out due to Caitlin Clark, her narrative doesn't match reality. Was she even talking about the right team? Maybe she meant the Chicago Sky instead.
According to league sources, Wetherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
What is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for.
Stephanie White, the Fever's head coach, dismissed Sheryl Swoopes' claims, emphasizing the team's strong chemistry, work ethic, and Caitlin Clark's uplifting presence. It's a stark contrast to the divided locker room narrative Swoopes attempted to push.
I don't think that any one of us can really probably understand, what she goes through on a daily basis. She carries a heavy load, right? With our league and with her abilities, certainly. But where we are from this tipping point in the WNBA and from popularity.
Fever players tell a different story. Lexi Hull and Erica Wheeler both emphasize how Caitlin Clark's presence has elevated team morale and strengthened their bond on and off the court.
She's all she'll just throw out comments that are just funny.
Lexi Hull credits Caitlin Clark for her confidence and positivity, while Erica Wheeler highlights Clark's humor in easing tense moments during crucial games.
All we do is have fun. With Caitlin Clark, who never takes anything serious, I tell people all the time, she's really a kid at heart.
This isn't about creating drama. It's about building a unified team. From management to players, the message is clear. The Indiana Fever are united. Their locker room isn't a ticking time bomb, but a space for growth, support, and laughter. Every sign points to a team thriving together. But Sheryl Swoopes wasn't finished. She shifted her focus to a new target, Kelsey Mitchell, a player who'd been with the Fever through every challenge. Swoopes' upcoming claims would take things to even wilder extremes, setting the stage for more controversy.
Because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season, and I don't think she got the credit that she deserved.
Kelsey Mitchell's breakout season was nothing short of extraordinary. She averaged 19.2 points per game, shot 40% from beyond the arc, and played a pivotal role in leading the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance in 7 years. These numbers speak volumes about her skill and impact, showcasing a player at the peak of her game. However, Sheryl Swoopes offered a different perspective, claiming that Mitchell wasn't getting the credit she deserved from the Fever. But does this bold statement hold water? The facts tell a different story. Mitchell's field goal percentage of 46.8% was a career best, and it wasn't just about her stats. Her leadership and contributions were crucial in ending the Fever's playoff drought.
It's really exciting. I mean, certainly, you think about Kelsey Mitchell, and she's been through the lulls in the Indiana Fever franchise, and now to be on the other side of that, as a cornerstone. And every team has a big three, right? And you think about having a great wing like her, and a great point guard, and a generational player in Caitlin Clark, and a great post player in Aaliyah Boston. And
the Fever didn't overlook Kelsey Mitchell's contributions. Team president Kelly Krauskopf called Mitchell a cornerstone of the team, sending a clear message that she is integral to the Fever's future success.
We wouldn't be where we are today without Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, she's clearly a very foundational piece. She's got 7 years of being in and out of this building. She went through a lot.
Did playing alongside rookie Caitlin Clark overshadow Kelsey Mitchell's brilliance? Quite the opposite. Analysts noted that Clark's league-leading assists actually created more scoring opportunities for Mitchell. It was a partnership that elevated both players. Mitchell herself never expressed feeling underappreciated. Instead, she voiced deep gratitude toward the Fever organization and her teammates. Far from neglected, she was a player who felt fully supported and valued.
I've always kind of flew under the radar. I've always kind of been that person or that player, very conservative, very an introvert. So now I get to see the flip side of it. And it's kind of funny. I can laugh about it because I know it's come from a genuine place, but I embrace it from a standpoint of people not guaranteed to see me play, and now that they do, I just hope I do right by it,
So what are we left with? A star player in Kelsey Mitchell who's thriving, a team that appreciates her value, and a narrative from Sheryl Swoopes that doesn't align with the facts. This serves as a reminder that the most dramatic stories often come from speculation. But Swoopes wasn't finished yet. Just when it seemed like she'd run out of grievances, she turned her attention to another figure in the Fever organization, Christy Sides. Her departure would soon become the next controversial chapter in Swoopes' ongoing saga. And trust me, You won't believe what she had to say about it.
I think Christy did as good of a job as she could have. Managing all of the craziness, all of the Caitlyn mania, all of the hype, all of the media. It was just so much that came with that.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but it's not lost on me that the day after Christy Sides is let go is the day that Stephanie White stepped down from coaching in Connecticut.
Christy Sides led the Fever to their first playoff berth in 7 years, but was unexpectedly let go. Sheryl Swoopes theorized that Sides was overwhelmed by the Caitlin Clark hype and deserved more respect. However, the Fever's official statements tell a different story. Team president Kelly Krauskopf praised Sides for her tremendous dedication, hardly a sign of a team throwing her under the bus.
I can't say anything bad about the job that Christy Sides and her staff did. I mean, she did everything she was hired to do and then some, through a tough first year of Caitlin and all the attention and everything that went with that. I mean, I give them a lot of credit.
So what really happened? Kelly Krauskopf emphasized the importance of being bold and assertive in the pursuit of their goals, including maximizing talent and securing another WNBA championship for Indiana. All the evidence points to a professional, strategic decision. The Fever didn't just sever ties. They publicly acknowledged Christy Sides' hard work and contributions during a crucial period for the team.
Christy Sides did a great job. And as we move forward, my thought process was how do we maximize what we have and how do we jump on this opportunity now?
It wasn't about punishing failure, but positioning the team for greater success. Enter Stephanie White, Sides' replacement, with a proven history and a coaching philosophy focused on communication and player development. White is seen as the perfect fit to elevate the Fever to the next level.
Trying to think outside the box, not be tunnel vision in how we do things, putting players in positions to be successful, using what we have to our advantage instead of what we don't, and really trying to reverse engineer in some ways the way that I think about the game, and the positions that we can put our teammates and our players in to be successful.
So, what's the real story behind Christy Sides' departure? It's a team making a tough but professional decision in pursuit of championship dreams. Amid all the claims, locker room drama, and coaching controversies, it's crucial to consider how the players truly felt. Well, the Fever players had a lot to say, and their perspective might just put this entire saga to rest. Just when you thought the drama couldn't get any more intense, Lexi Hull stepped up to the mic. As Caitlin Clark's teammate, Hull had a front row seat to everything happening in the locker room, and her perspective completely shot down Sheryl Swoopes' claims.
She sees the game at a bigger scale, obviously with the platform that she's created for herself, and then that's transitioned to the game. It's huge. And I think, for me, especially as a point guard and as someone that's delivering a lot of the passes that lead to shots, if I miss, she's definitely going to say, you got the next one. I can count on her for keeping me, confident and positive. So, yeah, I think that shows the player that she is and the leader she is as a point guard.
She painted a picture of a united team, not divided. We play harder for each other because we know we've got each other's backs, Hull said. This wasn't just talk. She shared stories that showed how close-knit the Fever truly were. Remember all the talk about Caitlin Clark causing tension? Hull set the record straight, revealing that Clark's presence actually boosted team morale. I can count on her to keep me confident and positive, Hull shared. That's far from the divisive figure Swoopes tried to portray. But it wasn't all serious business. Hull also gave us a glimpse into the lighter moments of the Fever season. Picture this: a tense practice, everyone focused, and suddenly the music blares.
There was one practice, Christy turns on loud music because I can't remember where we were going, but we knew the arena was going to be loud. And so she turns on this loud music, and Caitlin screams, she's like, "Can someone turn it off? It's giving me a migraine." And everyone's like, what? And Christy reacted and said, "What did you say?" And she repeated it. And all of us were we were all dying because if I would have said that, if anyone on our team would have said that and then been asked, "What did you say?" and you repeat it, no one else is repeating it, but she did. And it was the funniest thing. We're all rolling on the ground laughing.
Hull didn't stop there. She spoke about how the team lifted each other up during tough times. If one player had an off night, the others were right there with positive reinforcement. It's the kind of support system that championship teams are built on.
All of us just kind of like stuck together, trusted the process, and realized that like the start of the season isn't the biggest deal. It's how we finish and how we get better. And really proud of just the resiliency of the group.
The contrast between the first counts and Swoopes' claims couldn't have been starker. While Swoopes painted a picture of discord and drama, the Fever players spoke of a locker room filled with laughter, support, and camaraderie. It wasn't just about disproving Swoopes. The players' united front sent a strong message. They weren't just defending Clark or team culture. They were showing what they were made of. This was a group that had each other's backs, on and off the court. As the latest chapter of the Fever saga unfolded, one thing became clear. The team was stronger than any rumor or controversy, facing the noise head-on and growing even more united.
The biggest thing is finding people to kind of get you out of that cycle and get you to thinking about the positive things.
Despite all the talk about team chemistry and player bonds, a big question still loomed. What did this mean for the Fever's future? How would this newfound unity translate to on-court success? New head coach Stephanie White had some thoughts on that, and trust me, you're going to want to hear what she had to say. Fresh off her successful stint at Connecticut, which included Coach of the Year honors, White brought a new vision to the Indiana Fever. She saw in Caitlin Clark not just a great player, but a high IQ athlete who had quickly adapted to the WNBA. White envisioned Clark as a future leader who could guide the Fever to multiple championships.
I'm not one of those coaches that is going to be set in her ways. Not one of those coaches that that isn't, I'm willing to try new things.
White's approach stood out as she prioritized building strong relationships with key players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. Her first conversation with Clark wasn't about strategies, but about how Clark wanted to improve, fostering open communication.
What's your approach when you're coaching greatness like that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just talking basketball, right? Just having general basketball conversations about what she's watching, what she likes, what are some of the things that what are some of her thoughts from, not just what the Indiana Fever have done, but from the game of basketball in general.
The coach's strategy was clear. Play with great pace and allow players to use their instincts. "We want to make plays, not run plays," White stated, hinting at a dynamic basketball style. She also integrated analytics into defensive strategies, emphasizing communication and commitment to defense. With her championship experience and talent development track record, White was focused on creating a lasting legacy for the Fever. "Our goal is to win championships and hang banners," she declared.
I also want our players to use their instincts and to play free. We want to make plays, not run plays, right? We want to have sets that give us certain spacing that we want, depending upon our rotations, who's on the floor, who we want to attack, what matchups we want to get to, how can we manipulate them. So we'll have certain play calls that just give us space to operate. And then whichever play we make, whichever pass we make determines, one of three actions that our players can read from. And so really giving them the freedom to play within a system.
White's dedication to Clark's development was evident, having followed her career since 8th grade and maintaining strong ties with her college coaches. This commitment reflected her focus on integrating Clark into the Fever's system. As White outlined her vision, it was clear the Fever were striving for greatness. With White leading, Clark on the court, and a talented roster, the future seemed promising. Could this be the dawn of a new era for Indiana basketball?
It's our job then as coaches to continue to put them in positions to succeed, and our job as a franchise to put the pieces around them that will fill some of the gaps and fill some of the holes. And ultimately our goal is to win championships and to hang banners.
As the dust settles on Sheryl Swoopes' claims, the true story of the Indiana Fever shines through. Picture this. The team huddled together, sharing laughs and stories over a post-practice meal. That's the Fever spirit. Looking ahead to 2025, the excitement is palpable. Stephanie White's championship vision isn't just talk. It's backed by a roster full of talent. Caitlin Clark's immediate impact, combined with Kelsey Mitchell's scoring and Aaliyah Boston's dominance, has fans on the edge of their seats. With White's leadership and a united locker room, the Fever are poised for something special. Are you ready for this new era? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.